Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Brian. I am back with another episode, and in this episode, I would like to describe my favorite environment, which is Visual Studio Code, as some people know it, VS Code. In this video, I'm just gonna go ahead briefly walk you through why I love this integrated development environment, IDE, and why I think it personally is the best, and yeah, why it makes the job so much easier. Before we get into it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos, and see if it would be useful for your friends who are upcoming developers. Yeah, so let's get into it. So you can download VS Code by going to Google and type in Visual Studio Code. Perfect. Of course, if you're running Windows, they do support Windows, so you can always, download Mac, Windows, and Linux. I already have it installed on my machine. There is a bunch of documents down here that it tells you how VS Code works. But just for these demo purposes, we are going to walk it briefly and get you up and running. Okay, so let's X from here and go back to VS Code. It's this icon, and it's this beautiful icon where everything happened. So we click on this. As you click on it, you will see the first welcome windows, and this is basically you can either select files, create a new one, or clone from your Git repository. The Git repository settings do need to be configured before you can get access to your repos. Maybe in another video I will describe and how to connect your repo if it makes it much easier for you. I personally don't use the Git here, but it is a good thing to have because you will see who execute certain codes at what level. So you do, I use it as a hybrid way. So my favorite Git Gui, it's actually Git Kraken. But again, we're not talking about that in this video, but in this video, you are able to set up a Git account in VS Code. Then down here you see a bunch of like project that you previously was working on, and yeah, and that's that. And in here you of course you see notifications that is coming from VS Code. In this case, I do have to update my VS Code. Please do read like the release notes in order to see what updates are happening, so it doesn't slow you down from your development process. Maybe sometime you update and something happened and you're not able to work in your environment. Or you can simply just drag a folder or a project and just drop it, and VS Code will automatically open it up. That's one way. Or you can click File, New File, and create new file by clicking New File. We're gonna call this index. Oh, did I actually? No, never mind. Don't create it from there. Go go to this icon which is like the document and file explorer, and then click on a new files to be created. Once you do that, you can you can save that file by saying index.html. Desktop. Let's create another test IDE live, and then save that. And as you can see, VS Code already decided that this is a HTML, so it would give you all the HTML syntaxes through the extension that I previously installed. But if it does not recognize your file as the HTML, you're always welcome to come down here in the bottom right hand corner and click on, it would usually say plain, but in this case, because we already we already identified it as HTML, so it would show us HTML, but you can select many different file formats, so like JavaScript, JS, JSON, CSS, SAS, and a bunch of other ones. So yeah, so this is HTML. I'm just gonna put some syntaxes here. Again, as every IDE environment should have, it's an autocomplete extension, and VS Code does have that. So all you have to do is just put HTML. Of course, HTML or HTML5. But in this demo, we are going to use HTML5. So yeah, so you can put your syntaxes here. I'm just gonna write a paragraph, and I'm going to put a test text. And that's how you create a file, and that's how you create a folder for your file, and good to go. From here, let's walk through these panels right here. These panels is what you will kind of juggle around in order to get your project stuff going. The second icon here, the button, it's search. This allows you to search the entire projects. You can just put, let's say for example, test. And as you can see, because we do have the word test here, it would show up here. And if you click on it, then it would direct you to that files. Whatever files it has test, the word test. Or if you're so sure that you kind of want to change every single file that include test, you do have the option to search and replace. You would put first the search that you would like to put, and then you put replace, and then okay, this is very generic. I would put blah 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 like blah, right? And then I click on this button, replace all, and you get this alert which is like, are you sure that you do want to replace this one item? If you have multiple items, it would tell you that like, hey, you have 10 of this occurrence text going on in all your project. Let's click on replace, and as you can see, it replaced that text with blah, right? And if you go back to your project, you click on HTML, you close it. Of course, let's drag our project in here in this environment, so that way we know what we're working on. So if you click on that, you see that blah text has been changed, right? Cool. So that's the search functionality that I personally use mostly. Then the second button here is for Git. If you do want to initialize a repository here for this project, you just click on initialize, and it would initialize in your site folder. In this case, it's Mac. You can of course configure it, or in your repo. But you do have to push. It won't go to your GitHub account repo until you push. This is just creating a repo in your local environment, on your local machine. Now, cool thing about this is that you have all this panel down here which tell you the commits that you have done, the file history, the branches that you're on, remotes, blah, stash, the regular Git stuff. I do recommend to study Git. It's very useful in your professional environment. So, yep, you do need that. And that's how you execute repo. right, in in VS Code. Then in here you have run and debug. This is if you have a lot of JavaScript and or any different type of programming that you kind of want to debug in the browser, or if you have an extension that you kind of want to debug. We are going to get into extension very soon. Okay, so let's click on Chrome. And as you can see, our text show up, and that's how you debug. But if it was JavaScript, then of course it would show us all the debug console error down here. Let's just stop. So we're not debugging in this case. Now let's go down here. This area is where your terminal, if there is a problem with the environment, the output of certain things like JavaScript, debug console. This Gitland is for me because I installed the extension, and comments if you have comments in the project. All right, so that's how you see stuff. Terminal is basically like, the Mac terminal. You can, if you're familiar with this. But let's go here and say cd ls. As you can see, we can cd to different things and call ls, right? Kind of like a regular terminal. Then in here we have the extension. This is my favorite part. This is the best part of VS Code. The community is huge. There are like, if not millions, definitely thousands of extensions out in the community. VS Code will show you the first installed extension that you already did for yourself. These are mine. I love extensions here. Honestly, it would make my job so much easier. If you need a specific extension, you can always search them. Let's say, for example, okay, I never use Bitbucket, so you can search for Bitbucket. And as you can see, there are Jira Bitbucket, there are Bitbucket pull, many extension for different purposes, right? So that's how you install extension, and some extension would give you additional icons in this panel or down here in the bottom left or bottom right. Okay, these are extensions. This is also like where you install your auto completion for JavaScript, HTML, different programming languages, right? Then again, as you can see, I have a Jira extension installed here, which allow me to create issue, search for issue, and see what are the progress on some issues. Yep. And of course, Docker is my favorite environment. That's where I do my local environment, and that's where I run most of my LAMP stack and different type of system that I would like to have in my server. Then we have Gitland. Gitland is kind of like, I don't know what exactly like it is, but I personally use it for like identify who made commit to certain line of code or certain files, and it would just like, I don't have to leave that environment. I could just see all that commits, all that changes right here. So yeah, so that's VS Code workspace toggles. I don't know what you call buttons in order to like get it around and use things. Down here we do have this one button which is settings. It give you many options. Settings, first of all, if you go to settings, it gives you settings for extension, for security, for application, for features. It's so much. I'm not going through that, or you can just search it right here and see what you're looking for, right? What settings you do want to like adjust. Okay, so that's settings. And then if I go here, you can of course change the theme color to whatever you want. You see, yep, Yep. Color theme. I personally like the dark VS Code, the default. I think it's beautiful. So I don't need to change this. Yeah, so going back to Explorer, we can create files by clicking, right-clicking, create files, create folder, CSS, for example. And as you can see, I do have like this extension where identify the folder, what type of folder is it, and it would give it an icon. Let me see what exactly that one is. Yeah, VS Code icon. That's that extension that gives me this icons right here. Yep. Terminal down here. You can open multiple terminals by just clicking on this plus button, or you can exit. Yep. So this is VS Code. Up here in the up right hand corner, we do have toggles in order to hide Explorer, to hide terminals, and the window in the bottom, in order to have additional view in the right hand side. It does have this little button right here, which gives you so much more. If you do want to compare your codes with different files, this is where you go. Secondary sidebars and that type of thing. And it also allows you to adjust, right? So like, where do you want these files? I mean, where do you want these windows to be? Cool. So yeah, guys, this is VS Code. This is why I love VS Code. If I don't have VS Code, my second option would always be Sublime. Just because it's kind of similar, it has the same thing, but I just found VS Code more intuitive with all this stuff that is going on in there. But Sublime would be my second option in this case. So with that said, guys, this is my environment. This is my integrated development environment. That's what I like to use. You're always more than welcome to use anything that you like. But VS Code truly has made my job so much easier just because I have everything at one place. So please, with that said, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share my videos. I do make them as I keep coming about information that I need to make in order for a developer to become a developer. I will make these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I appreciate it. And have a wonderful day, or actually have a wonderful evening. Last time was night, this time is evening, and enjoy your day. Thank you so much. Peace.